We're into the final hours, transfer deadline day is here, and the question on everyone's mind is what can Arsenal produce? Midfield is the area to address, so let's get one almighty update on the record-breaking pursuit of Moises Caicedo to potential moves for Jorginho and Yuri Tielemans. We'll also discuss all the Arsenal departures, find out which Arsenal star is tearing up Liga, and break down what Edu Gaspar is cooking. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Babs14, welcome back to your boys channel. Hope you guys are doing sensational and it's a massive day. It's transfer deadline day, and if you guys want to see a deadline day live stream, then let me know down below in the comments. But if you enjoy the content, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and as always help your boy on his road to 150,000 subscribers. Let's start off with a deadline day madness. With a potential title charge on the line, what are Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar up to? Real Valladolid's even Fresneda had been on their radar. Reports claim that a deal was agreed in terms of price tag and it was all over to the player. Arsenal or Borussia Dortmund, who was he going to choose? Well, there has been a late twist, as Fabrizio Romano understands that Fresneda will now stay at Valladolid in January unless there are a late twist in the final hours. Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund wanted the Spanish right back, but a deal was never done, and the next step is securing a move to a top club in the summer. I'm not too fussed about this, and that is because even if Arsenal were to sign him, he would not have been an Arsenal player to the start of next season. He would have gone straight back on loan, and when you've got Ben White and you've got Tomiyasu, there is not an urgent desire to sign a right back, and come the end of the season when he has more experience under his belt, Arsenal will still be there, and I'm sure this is not the last that we've heard of even Fresneda. That being said, the priority has always been central midfield. The title charge looms on the fitness of Thomas Partey, and Arsenal don't want to take any risks. That is why they have targeted Brighton's Moises Caicedo, and after making their first offer of £60 million, the player confirmed his desire, a public transfer request telling the entire world he wants to leave Brighton as soon as possible, then not turning up to training. The Brighton boss Roberto De Zerbi has been speaking, saying Caicedo is a good guy and we will see. I hope he stays with us, but this is a question for the club and Moises. And more importantly, he also says, I would like him to finish the season with us, but we are ready to go forward without him. Not denying the chance of a transfer and leaving the door open, but as Simon Collins says, for any chance of Arsenal sealing a deal for Caicedo, it is thought that Brighton would have to have a replacement lined up first. But Brighton have been active in the market and they have signed a brand new midfielder, confirming the arrival of Swedish international Yasin Ayari, but this is more a star for the future. He's still very young and he is not seen as a direct replacement for Moises Caicedo. Instead, Brighton have their eyes on Amadou Haidara of RB Leipzig, and according to reports, they are also now targeting Sheffield United's Sander Berg. The targeting of other midfielders says that a deal is certainly possible. This transfer is all down to the money, and £60 million wasn't enough, but as we discussed in our last video, Arsenal were going to make a new offer, and then it was confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, with the exclusive news that Arsenal had submitted a new bid for Caicedo, package worth £70 million with add-ons. Arsenal's statement of intent, a gargantuan offer, but as Ben Jacobs confirms, the offer was rejected straight away. What were Arsenal going to do next? How much do Arsenal and Mikel Arteta want this player? Well, according to Florian Plettenberg, Arsenal are not giving up, and they are still pushing to sign the player. Caicedo wants to join Arsenal. It seems like the players' agents here are encouraging Arsenal to make the offers, and as Fabrizio Romano says, Caicedo would love to join Arsenal and he wants to move to a top club as it's a big dream, but Brighton will not change their stance just because of the players' statements, and it has to be a very good proposal, otherwise they are prepared to fight and keep the player. 21 years of age and so many fundamentals. I do believe Mikel Arteta sees something special, and in terms of the player himself, he is more than happy to sign. Reports have claimed that he's agreed a 5-year contract, agreed personal terms, but with a £70 million offer not being enough, all that is left for Arsenal is to go above and beyond and break their transfer record. And as they fight for the Premier League title, the Arsenal owners have given the green light, as Mark Owen confirms that Stan Kroenke has given Arsenal the go-ahead to make a third bid to sign Moises Caicedo, and that offer would be record-breaking. As Daniel Cutts confirms, Arsenal are preparing to take the Caicedo bid up to £75 million, with 70 up front and 5 in add-ons. It would be a club record deal. Brighton are still holding out, but it seems like Arsenal are getting closer to their valuation, overtaking the fee paid for Nicola Pepe, Mikel Arteta's most expensive ever signing, for a player that has massive potential but also is still very inexperienced. Caicedo has more international caps with 28 than Premier League appearances with 26. Arsenal realised that in January they have to always go above and beyond. Teams don't want to sell their players. Over the past few years, Arsenal have underpaid for their signings. £30 million for Martin Odegaard, 30 for Zinchenko, but at this stage of the project, a potential title on the line, it looks like the Arsenal owners see this as a prime opportunity to pay the premium and go all in and the funds have been made available. But do you believe Moises Caicedo is worth this sort of money? There's also another variable, and that is of course our old friends Todd Bowley's Chelsea, who have also been looking at Moises Caicedo and having signed Mykhailo Mudryk and João Felix. Arsenal fans have their PTSD, but that being said, they have another target, and as Fabrizio Romano confirms, they are back in direct talks with Benfica to sign Enzo Fernandez and are prepared to pay 120 million euros. Surely that gives Arsenal a free run to sign Caicedo, but the Fernandez deal is far from over. It's over to the Benfica board and Rui Costa to accept the bid. But if that wasn't to happen, you can't then rule out the possibility of Chelsea re-entering the scene to then go for Moises Caicedo. But Arsenal are doing their best. 2 offers already made and a third on its way. It's all over to Brighton and Tony Bloom. Are they going to accept? But as David Ornstein says, Arsenal feel they have to get a top midfielder during this transfer window, and they are prepared to pay big money to do so. The big question is going to become, who do they go for before the deadline? And it seems like Arsenal have their alternatives, as reports claim that if they can't get the deal for Caicedo over the line, Arsenal could turn their sights to Amadou Onana of Everton, a Belgian international of a similar age and a similar profile, just like Caicedo, able to play as a number 6 and as a number 8. With the profiles being similar, as Peter O'Rourke confirms, Arsenal as well as a number of other clubs are keeping tabs on this situation, and if there's any chance that he can be prized away, I'm sure that Arsenal and these other interested clubs will maybe make an offer. The issue that Arsenal will have is that Everton have just got £45 million in, having sold Anthony Gordon. After losing such an important player, they would demand a crazy amount of money for Amadou Onana, who Arsenal certainly like, but will they go above and beyond? But what about Ibrahim Bamba of Vitória Guimarães? Well, according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal have not submitted any bid or open talks to sign Bamba, but understands the Italian talented midfielder is available for 7 to 8 million euros to leave in this window. The race is open, but nothing is advanced. Now, Bamba had a release clause of around 30 million euros, but for 7 to 8 million euros, it becomes a very decent opportunity. 20 years of age, a versatile profile, able to also play as a centre-back, a midfield dual winner, very good defensively, and also composed on the ball. January is all about market opportunities, and that might be Ibrahim Bamba. But then you have Leicester City's Youri Tielemans, a long-term Arsenal target, who back in the summer reportedly, Arsenal had agreed personal terms. According to Graham Bailey, Arsenal are considering making a late offer for Youri Tielemans. However, Leicester's relegation battle means they won't and can't consider letting him leave this month. The name that won't go away, and as a number 8 under Mikel Arteta, there's certainly potential, but is he the number 6 profile? Can he back up Thomas Partey when he's available for a free transfer in the summer? I'm not sure if Arsenal will make a move. But there's also a surprise option, one that has caused havoc in the fan base: Chelsea's Italian international Jorginho, who according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal have approached Chelsea to sign, but it's only an option in case they can't sign Moises Caicedo. Chelsea are open to selling Jorginho, but will ask for an important fee to let him leave 6 months before the end of his contract. On social media, many Arsenal fans are not quite enthused about this transfer. 31 years of age, a Chelsea player, but he does have a lot of experience. He's won the Euros, the Champions League, and not too long ago, he was also named the UEFA Men's Player of the Year. The door has opened for Jorginho to leave Chelsea, and in terms of the price tag, Fabrizio Romano confirms that Chelsea are demanding 15 to 20 million pounds. Now that is more than affordable, but at the same time it's worth pointing out, the main target is Moises Caicedo. If anything, Jorginho is an emergency option, and the prospect of only having Albert Sambi Lokonga, he might not be Moises Caicedo, but he's certainly better than what Arsenal currently have behind Thomas Partey. And more importantly, he's also a player the Arsenal manager likes. As Fabrizio Romano says, Mikel Arteta is understood to be a fan of Jorginho and appreciates his skills. This is why he's a concrete name for the final hours of the window. Mikel Arteta has admired Jorginho for a very long time, and as Darmishef confirms, Arsenal even tried to sign Jorginho back in the summer of 2020, and Arteta was also a coach at Man City when they tried to sign him in 2018. If Mikel Arteta wants him, there's a reason behind that. On the ball, Jorginho is actually a very decent player. There's a reason why he was wanted by Pep Guardiola. My issue with Jorginho is off the ball. In terms of covering big distances and controlling transitions, Jorginho does not have the legs and the power of a Thomas Partey. And also at 31 years of age, coming from Chelsea, Arsenal fans have PTSD, especially from the signing of Willian. But the key information behind this is that he's an emergency option, and only if Arsenal can't sign their main targets. Ask yourself the question, what are Arsenal better off doing? Signing Jorginho on a short-term contract, or signing no one whatsoever? But now the eyes are all on Moises Caicedo, a record-breaking offer potentially in the line. Is Tony Bloom going to accept? This could have a massive impact on their title charge, and I have a personal feeling that Arsenal will sign a midfielder, but who that player will be, stay tuned as we find out. But moving on to the potential departures, and starting off with Cedric Soares, who was set to go to Fulham, but as Kai Kai Kaynak confirms Arsenal are still waiting on Fulham to sign Shane Duffy on a permanent before the loan move for Cedric can be completed. Brighton are playing a role once again in Arsenal's late window business. This deal is all but complete. Fulham are going to pay the wages of near £100,000 a week. It's a straight loan with no option to buy, and once Brighton do their part, then this should become official. But you also have Arsenal loanee Omar Rikic on loan to Sparta Rotterdam in the Eredivisie, where he's only made 5 appearances, so reports have claimed that Arsenal have recalled him and he is set to return. But he is not staying at the Emirates Stadium because very soon, as Chris Wheatley confirms, he is set to go straight on loan to Wigan in the Championship, a team that I believe is the bottom of the division. It's not really ideal, but gaining experience in English football, playing more first team minutes, I can understand Arsenal's logic. But then you also have Marquinhos, who according to a Ryan Taylor exclusive, is set to join Norwich City on loan for the remainder of the season. And Chris Davison understands that Marquinhos has already trained with Norwich, and a loan until the end of the season will be announced tomorrow. 6th place in the Championship, Norwich are a team fighting for promotion, with David Wagner as their manager. He plays a decent brand of football, and in terms of Marquinhos, he definitely has a lot of potential. We've seen it in little spurts this season, but when you have Bukayo Saka and the arrival of Leandro Trossard, him getting first team minutes in the Championship, I do believe is a great move for his development. But moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool manager, who's given us honest thoughts on the Arsenal project, saying that Arsenal are a sensational team. Mikel had time pretty much with just a little bit of European football, and he is doing an outstanding job, and Arsenal will not go away easily. It's very hard not to take notice of the Arsenal project when you have one of the youngest teams in the league, one of the best young managers, the funds available, and the return to Champions League. Arsenal have a team in place that is set to compete for a very long time, and now the likes of Jurgen Klopp have no choice but to take notice and give us our respect. Stat time of the day, Arsenal's Gabriel Martinelli has completed the most dribbles in the Premier League, 34 above the likes of Eze, Zaha, Tavernier and Benrahma. But he isn't the only young Arsenal forward shining, as you've also got following Balogun thriving in Ligue 1, and here he is ahead of a massive game against PSG, alongside the king Thierry Henry, and up against the likes of Mbappe and Messi. In the 96th minute, with Reims 1-0 down, up stepped Balogun in the 96th minute, rounding Donnarumma and equalising in the final moments, then giving us a Thierry Henry-esque celebration. It was ice cold, it was fantastic, and this guy has been on fire. 19 games, 11 goals, 1 assist and 2 penalties won. This is Balogun's first ever season of top European football. Only 21 years of age, the future is looking so bright. Balogun has the most goals out of any under-21 player in all of Europe, over the likes of Jamal Musiala, Kvaratskhelia, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, and he's doing it for a team that's 11th in Liga. Balogun is showing his class, and for Arsenal it's going to be a massive dilemma next season. When you've got Jesus, a thriving Eddie Nketiah, do they have space for following Balogun? But moving on to a bit of shocking transfer news, as our title rivals Man City are about to lose their main left back, João Cancelo, who's going to Bayern Munich on loan until the end of the season. Something has gone wrong, and there were a few reports a few weeks ago that Cancelo, alongside the likes of Bernardo Silva and a few others, weren't that happy behind the scenes at Man City. And as Mike Keegan confirms, Cancelo is leaving City following a training ground bust-up with Pep Guardiola, and the player reacted angrily when he learnt he wasn't starting against Arsenal. He threatened to leave and he was told he could go. No player is bigger than the club. An integral part to Man City's last 2 title wins, having also lost Alexander Zinchenko. For Arsenal, it ups the stakes even higher and gives us an even better opportunity. If Arsenal can sign a top quality midfielder and address that midfield depth, then more and more fans will start to believe that title number 14 can truly become a reality. It's now over to Edu Gaspar after the signings of Leandro Trossard and Jakub Kiwior. With the clock ticking and time running out, what has Mr. Gaspar got cooking? But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure to follow your boy on all of his social medias. The links are down below in the description. But that was today's episode of the Transfers FC, and deadline day is here. Can Arsenal sign a midfielder? We're gonna find out. Stay tuned for a potential live stream, and I will see you next time. Take care, in a bit.